Why am I over fucking qualified? Why am I qualified to get on here and say what I say and do what I do and share what I share? Why am I qualified? Gotta let Thomas out. Why am I qualified to do this? I'm qualified to do this. I'm overqualified to do this. And the reason that I'm qualified and overqualified to do this is because I've been there and done that. When you've been there and done that, it changes a lot. It changes a lot of things. It changes how you live. It changes how you see. It changes how you experience. And I've been there and done that. Like in my previous video where I talked about, thinking maybe I should have been a man when I was a teenager, or actually a little kid, questioning whether or not I should have been a man versus a woman because of my style of choosing to dress or the way I like to talk or the activities I like to participate in. I questioned whether or not I should have been a woman or not. Maybe I should have been a man. I questioned this when I was young. But the reason I can answer those questions so confidently is because I was tested. I was challenged. I was put to the test. When I was, for example, I bet I was 8, maybe 9, maybe 10, but I don't think so. I think I was around 8, and it could have been 8 or 9. My parents needed to go out of town for some funeral. I have no fucking idea who it was. I think it was my mom's aunt or friend or something, but we had one of those really tight families, so knew all about that. But they left. They went out of the state. We were living in Texas at the time, and they drove to Kansas, I believe, so that they could go to this funeral of this person. And when they went to go to this funeral, we were living in Texas. We didn't have any family in Texas. They took us over to some people's house that that were friends. They were gone like 4 or 5 days. So we stayed a couple days at one place and a couple of days at another place. Cause back then in the cult we were in, everybody had fucking huge families. So it was a lot to take in somebody else's couple of kids, and the strictness that they had us living under and the authority and the fucking punishment that we lived under. It's a lot to manage kids. I mean, you got to be up their ass every minute finding something to get on to them about. I mean, this is authority here. It's, you got a big job. So they left us with some friends. Well, one of the people's houses happened to be my best friend Rachel at the time. The only best friend that I really feel like I've had throughout my life was Rachel. She felt like my best friend at the time. And Rachel and I kind of got our freak on a little bit, spending the night together. Here I am like 8 or 9 years old, and she's like 14 or 15. She's like my oldest brother's age. And we kind of, rubbed up on each other and did some touching and feeling enough to get you like kind of excited. And that haunted me for years. Like, oh my God, what was that? I was kind of excited, but it was weird and strange. And it made me question things about myself and all this. Well, I put that to rest because she wasn't the only one. I had another friend when I was in the 7th grade. One of the 3 or 4 years that I actually only went to school that tried to get her freak on with me. So I've had these opportunities at young ages when I was in the most vulnerable questioning states of life to question my sexuality and whether or not I was gay or not, or, I was into chicks. And I decided, no, I'm not. While that could be exciting, maybe, or while that could be different, or what the fuck ever, I'm not into chicks. It's not what I want. I want a family. I want babies. I want a lifelong male partner that has a wiener, that has a dick, man. Right? So that's why I'm overqualified. I'm overqualified and qualified because I can get on here and say dick. Because I can talk about being gay or not. I can talk about my uncomfortabilities when I was young. I can talk about my sexual experiences that I've probably not really shared with a lot of people before. Because I have been there. I have done that. I have looked into it. I did have a baby, get pregnant at 15 and have a baby at 16 and choose whether or not to be a mom, without a partner. Am I going to do this at 16 years old all by myself with all the shame of my family and all the judgment of all my friends and everybody I know? So this is what overqualifies me for these things, because I've been tested. And not only was I tested when I was young, I've been tested throughout life because I didn't know a lot of things. I had to figure it out for myself, or I had to look through it, or I just did. But that's how I'm where I'm at now. I've been through the mortgage foreclosure. Never filed bankruptcy, but I did get foreclosed on, and boy, is that fun. I've been through the business contract where you build up a business for a long time and it's worth a lot of fucking money, and you sell it to somebody under a paper contract and they break their end of the deal, and you have to figure out how to regroup your whole life with 6 other humans and 2 big dogs and a whole bunch of chickens and 20 years of accumulation. You have to figure out how to regroup all that with no credit, no family, no friends, no income, no nothing. You have to figure out how to redo all that. I did. I figured out how to be a mom at 16 all by myself. I did that. I went to Japan and lived over there for a few years and had an affair and fucked up my first marriage, and I did that. I've lived the split family life, not only as a teenager with my own family and having a stepmom and a stepdad and all the crazy that came with that. I married that way. Curtis was a stepdad. We've been through that. We've been through the step parenting. We've been through all the trauma. We've been through all the bullshit that comes with the broken, poor choices that so many of us have made for a long time. And it shows. It shows fucking everywhere. So that's why I am qualified and overqualified. I've tested. I've been there. I've done that. I've been the addict. I've done the cocaine. I've done the drinking. I've tested all the array of things there is to test. I've been the ODer. I've done that shit. I've had eating disorders. I mean, been there and back. And back is way better. So I'm over fucking qualified. And if you want to question anything, go for it. I offer you the invitation to question any of my qualifications that you would like. And if you're ready to change your life, transform your life, I'm over fucking qualified. Hit me up. Peace. Love. Peace. See ya.